Hello and good evening, everyone. This is Anupriya Chowdhary, your host for evening at PSAI Talk Show. At PSAI Talk Show, uh, ever since I have joined the Professional Speakers Association of India, I am often asked this question. How is public speaking different from professional speaking? As in, why do you need a different association for professional speakers? And I have been looking for an apt answer for this. And if you feel that you know the answer, please say hello to us. Tell us from where you're joining us and tell me what you understand by professional speakers while I give you a wonderful metaphor that Sundaraman Chintamani, the former president of Chennai chapter of PSAI, mentioned in a recent meeting at the Chennai chapter, and he said that a versatile public speaker is like a full stack developer. Now, what does a full stack developer mean? One who can handle end-to-end software solutions for an IT organization. But a full stack developer cannot become an entrepreneur. To have his own startup, he has to have those little detailed understanding of those little business nuances. He has to know the finances, the HR, the compliance. Only then will he or she be able to run their startup successfully and efficiently. So this was a beautiful metaphor. Why? Because a public speaker is the same. They have the skill, but to become a professional speaker, you need to understand the nuances of how your speaking can become a business in itself, can give you a source of income. The ROI of a professional speaker's speech is the benefit that the audience receive from the words, as well as the remuneration that the professional speaker receives. So that was about PSAI, and we at PSAI have one mission: to help speakers excel in the field of professional speaking. All our endeavors are directed towards helping professional speakers find ground for themselves to upgrade and showcase their skill to expand their horizon. And amongst various activities that we have at PSAI, the PSAI Talk Show is one opportunity for our members to showcase their talent and tell the world what PSAI means to them. Now it's time to welcome the guest for the evening. The guest for the evening is a wonderful, wonderful lady. She's someone who has over 23 years of corporate experience in the marketing, finance, and L&D domains. She's a recipient of multiple awards for her extensive work in the area of women empowerment. A professional speaker who is scheduled for her second TEDx talk on 17th April. She has spoken on prestigious platforms such as I'm Ahmedabad, Kala Ghoda Festival, and CII. But that's not what I found most fascinating about her. What I found most fascinating about her was her journey. She's had a high-flying corporate career that gave her a good rub-off with the gender biases in the corporate world. She then went on to leave her job to be with her kids. She went through this despairing phase of psychosomatic state of mind when she suffered a massive personal loss. She began her journey as an entrepreneur, failed, and then ventured in as an independent trainer from scratch. She went through a fatal life accident and rose from the ashes to win over life. And when you ask her about the challenges of her life, she remains unperturbed. And she has a beautiful one-liner to explain her journey. Every setback is a setup for a fabulous comeback. So please join me in welcoming this gritty lady with a golden heart, Shiji Varghese.
Hi, thank you so very much, Anupriya, for this lovely introduction. It's a privilege being here. Thank you so very much once again.
Welcome, welcome, Siji. While I don't know how this conversation is going to proceed because I already have goosebumps while I was talking about your journey. So, fine, I've given these snippets, but still, I would like to hear from the horse's mouth. How has this journey been? How does it look like in the hindsight? You've come this far. How does it feel now?
So I kind of always, have that feeling that there's a lot to life that you've already gone through, and there's lot much more to coming in. So if I look at my journey in the hindsight, it has been something more of drama, a lot of magic, a lot of good wishes of people around, a lot of things that would make a nice pot broiler cinema or a masala movie. It had all the elements of love, hatred, romance, getting into the road accidents, good songs, funny anecdotes, motherhood, marriage, everything. It's like all mixed into one, and that's what it has been all around. So it started way back in 1998. When I started with my career in the corporate space, and I started my career in the pharma sector. Moving on to the first time when I became a mother to take a sabbatical, and then again start with afresh into the banking industry. So the years went by, and coming from the pharma space to a banking space into the insurance, there was one fine day that I felt that I am not able to give in too much of time for my kids, and I felt that I need to do something, something which will allow me to give that time to my babies too. And that's how I, as you rightly said, I got into the space of entrepreneurship. Failed miserably, rather. I had to close down my organization within 3 years and had to go back to the drawing board, get the blueprint again, and started up again as an as an independent trainer, facilitator. And as the journey went on, collected those kinds of validations, those kinds of certifications, what was important for me to tread on my journey in the future as well. So there is so much that I look forward to in the coming years too, and the last 10 years have been the most personally satisfying, personally gratifying, personally evolving, and professionally into a much different space that I have never even imagined myself to be there. So, right from deciding or understanding or getting into the space where I look into what is my niche today, to starting up my own brand with leaders in lipstick, identifying what it is to do with what I love to do, where my passion is, where my talents are, getting it vetted from my trusted circles, and going full on with it, and also the integrity and the intentions to be appropriate. So as I very rightly say, that when you walk with purpose, you are definite to collide with destiny. So it's so
Another
very
one liner,
important.
Siji. Another one liner. Someone please put this in the comments. Siji, please repeat it for the benefit of our audience.
So it's like when you walk with purpose, you definitely collide with destiny. So there was a
Wow.
purpose that I had, right? And it's nothing but that you transition eventually towards where you are supposed to be. So you find your ikigai as you move towards your space of passion, as you move towards your space or the area where you love to operate from. And that's where you start mastering your craft. That's where you go ahead and make that difference for yourself and the people around you. It's like
Wonderful.
telling that there's a beautiful marriage, especially when you talk about professional speaking, right? Professional speaking is all about what your product is and how you promote it, and the profit comes along with it. So it's a product promotion and the profit. Or if you say that the sweet spot for global success for any professional speaker is, are you able to do the three I's? That three I is the impact, the influence, and what do you think? And the
Income.
income. So if you are
Income, yes, we
absolutely
will
right.
come to that. We will come to that, Suji. But before that, I am so intrigued by your journey and your purpose, and that's women empowerment. I When I was reading about you, when I was talking to you, I realized that you have worked with women across the socio-economic strata in the country. You worked with corporate women across the corporate ladder, right from the bottom level to the leadership. You worked with underprivileged women, and that was the work that got you your UN Karamveer Chakra Award. So, what I'm trying to figure out is that how did you arrive at this purpose of yours? That's women empowerment. And how did you click so well with women from across, the country and across genres, I would say? How did that happen?
So one and foremost thing, I feel that being a woman, I it just comes naturally and effortlessly for me to interact and resonate and build that special connection with any woman. And I've always felt that a woman is a multi-dimensional personality, and she has so many dimensions to herself. It's beautiful. It's beautiful the way it's meant. I'm not saying that a man doesn't have it, but a woman has it so many more to add on with it. And the way she blends in the entire thing. And me being a woman, I can kind of connect it so beautifully with every little girl out there, because I've been there as a little girl. Every girl who has been aspiring to study and grow in the corporate space, as a girl who loved to be in a marriage which is so beautiful, as a girl who would have loved to be a mother for beautifully, as with lovely kids around her, as a girl who could balance her work and her personal life so very beautifully. So I think I have been there doing that from last so many years, rather from the last 5 decades. So it's like going through, and when you see the other folks, the other women in your own tribe, and when you're really wanting to make that impact and influence and create tribes where who all advocates the same philosophy and principle of life, that's where you really want to make the connection, where you want to make the difference. And it's like, if I've always believed in one thing, that the gift that I have received from the Lord above is a gift of my gap. I've always observed that my words could heal, my words could inspire, my words could inspire people to take action more from their comfort zone into their effort zone, right? So there is a power, and everybody is uniquely gifted. So my gift was my gift of my gap, the words that I use. And I realized the women would beautifully align with whatever I used to say, or rather they would connect with it very beautifully. And I would say that there are massive things that goes through in whatever they do, and I felt the need to be a part of their journey, because I felt satisfied, I felt beautiful inside, I felt gratified. And that's what I said, when you walk with a purpose, you definitely collide with destiny. It's creating that niche special space
Now,
for
these
yourself in
words are
life.
etched. These words are going to remain etched in my mind, Siji. And I know that you're good with such one liners which are so profound, and you have that impact on people, and your work body says that. So there's no doubt about it. For the benefit of our audience, I would like to tell our audience that during the International Women's Day week on 8th March, that concluded on 8th March, Shiji conducted 27 keynote speeches. She spoke in 27 sessions, and uh, it is amazing that she has reached out to almost 5,000 women during these 27 sessions. So, Siji, brings me to my next question, that you are a motivational speaker. You said your words have the power to motivate people, to move them to the action zone. All that is good, but that doesn't come easy. A lot of homework is required. You have to stay relevant. You've been out there for so long. You have to stay relevant. So I want to understand the kind of homework you do. What is the kind of research that you conduct for your speeches? How do you reinvent yourself to stay relevant? I'm really intrigued by that.
That's a very brilliant question, and a very it's something that I always feel that when you are doing a speaking gig, it's very important to remember the PCT construct. It's like, first and foremost, identify the problem that you want to address. It's a demand. It could be something the people would love to hear from you. They are facing a pain or a challenge. So that becomes your problem statement. Then go ahead and check on the C, that's a credibility. Why would somebody want to listen to you? How are you building that authority or the credibility over that subject? And the third important thing is the T, which is like the transformation. What would the world look like after you have delivered your goods? It's so very critical to see anything and everything from this construct, the PCT, where you have the problem, identify the problem, where you exhibit the credibility and also are involved in creating that transformation. Now, here you ask me the question, what's that I do for research? Or I find myself a very keen observer of life, a very keen observer of people, a very keen observer of the psyche and the behaviors that people demonstrate every single moment in my life. Right? Starting from my mother to my children to my spouse to my peers to the people who listen to me, to the ones who are around, every single person, as you know, they all are coming with such lovely experiences of life. I kind of derive a lot of my research
Wow.
from the experiences that they share. And I feel that the best library that you could ever have in your home is not one with books, but it's one with the stories and experiences that every human being has gone through. And this gives you the instance to go around, share it with people, inspire people, and go around and say what awesome people we have around us, and what that inspires me can inspire everyone. It's like aspire to inspire before you expire. Aspire
Wow.
to inspire before you expire. That's so very important to, that's where you can kind of feel aligned and in congruence with a lot many things around you. And when you speak with that kind of feelers, trust me, people just love to be in your space because they see the real you. They see that they can connect with you because you're not pretending, but you're being having your personality out there. They can see through that and they connect with that. So being you is so very important. So research is good, books are good, they always help you a lot, the internet helps you a lot, but I feel my best space to go back is always the experiences of people around me, and that's
And that
benefited.
is And that is evident, Siji, because I have seen you work with people, connect with people, and you immediately have this connection with people that makes you feel like I've known you for ages. So yes, that's some validation of your beliefs there. Uh, I also now want to move on to the space where you've spoken on global platforms, you've spoken on national platforms renowned as in Kala Ghoda Festival. It's absolutely, absolutely aspirational to me. I want to understand, is there a formula to get such assignments? Because paid speaking assignments, especially when we say we are professional speakers, remains a mystery for a lot of us, for the entire community, except for a few people who are out there. So, because you are out there, I would like to understand that how did the TEDx happen? How did all these assignments come your way? Is there a formula? Do you need to approach a channel? And how do you get out there?
Thank you for asking that, Anupriya. I sometimes call myself lucky, but I realize luck is nothing but preparedness and opportunity. So when you're prepared and when you get the opportunity, go ahead, get that, and you can call yourself lucky. Yes, I got the first TEDx talk, and I was like, everyone would ask me, how did you get there? And I would say, maybe I'm just plain lucky. But then that's the thing, you were prepared and you got the opportunity, you just grabbed it. It's so very essential to know that we all desire to be on the TED platform. But let me tell you, it's not the desire to be on the TED platform that's important. It's the important thing is that, do I have something that can transform the audiences around me? Can my point of view create or stir up a different perspective that leaves the audience wanting more and also have changed their perspective forever? And that's exactly what is the value of a TEDx talk. Do you have an idea? Do you have something that you can share with the entire world? It's like saying that if you have an idea and if you can share it with the group, with the world in just 3 minutes, it's fabulous. And if you can't explain it in 3 minutes, probably it's a very complicated one. And the TED platform is something, it's just not about storytelling. It's just not about statistics. It's basically connecting to the fact that you have something which can leave the audience asking for more, which can, leave the people feeling that they have something stirred up. You have left the people inspired, and a call for action, something that makes them, let's go ahead and do that. There's a call out for an inspired action at the end of every talk. So, for a global success, of course, you need to work on multiple parameters. There's everything that you have in your own uniqueness. Maybe you have a voice that can be soul stirring. That's the soul message for the entire world, and everyone loves to hear you because you have that with you. So we all have something that's very unique and special to us. I always feel, again, I call it as the 3I principle. It's important to invest in mastering your own craft. It's important to invest in your personal branding. And it's also important to invest in networking. When you do mastering your craft in your personal branding and networking, people do sit up and look at you. And when they look up to you, TEDx automatically happens. That's what I feel. So when I got into my second opportunity, also, I actually went and asked the organizer, what made you choose me? So it's like we love what we saw, right? So there are certain things that's so essential. So if we keep investing in ourselves, mastering what you are good with, using what you have, your talents in the best way, it's going to be something that's going to work wonders for anyone and everyone around us.
Well, that's I think that remains the foundation of every recognition, that when your message is good, you will automatically be recognized. So that's a wonderful message, Siji, because what happens in the industry is that when newcomers come in, when new aspirants come in, there are a lot of people to misdirect the people, to say that you do this for 10 days and you'll be assured a call from a so and so platform. And I find it quite misleading, because it can't be that easy. It can't be that easy. And you are a testimony of that, because you've done years of hard work. Thousands of lives have been impacted, and that's when you have reached this pinnacle. And I hope there are higher pinnacles for you. Uh, you talked about networking, you talked about community. I want to understand and come down to Professional Speakers Association of India. Now, that's one community wherein we all come in together to network, to share our knowledge, to learn from each other, to expand our horizons. How did PSAI happen for you, and how do you see that it changed the trajectory of your journey?
Wow, I could just go on and on about what PSA has done for me. But before that, let me ask an interesting question to all my fellow speakers who are watching us right now. And we're going to have something special. Let me tell you what's a special thing, but not right now. I'll tell you at the end. So I'm going to be asking you this question. What do you think, as a speaker, what are the top three trending themes for keynote speeches? So, what are the top three trending themes for keynote speeches? So, tell me what are the top three trending keynote speeches themes. Okay, if yours matches with the one I'm going to share in some time to all of you, then you're going to get a surprise, isn't it? Anupriya, don't you think we should give them a surprise? Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay.
I love freebie goodies, okay, but maybe I might not be eligible today. Can I take a guess, Saji?
Yeah. Please go ahead and say.
Oh, okay. So is it something to do with leadership? uh, Change, because we are going through these difficult times. Change management. I can't think of a third one. Okay, I'll carry on with my questions and I'll leave it to our audience to answer this question. So, yes, I'll repeat it. Our guest, Siji Varghese, has asked the audience that what are the three top themes that are trending in the professional speaking industry right now. If you get these three themes right and they match with what Siji has for her answer, you get some goodies. Our guest will reveal that in due course of time. So, yes, get your brains working, all of you. And Siji, I will then come down to the next question, and that is Professional Speakers Summit 2021. It
Okay.
was a
So Anu,
virtual, yeah.
yeah. So Anu, you did ask me the question of how did I come to PSAI? So let me just
Yes, I'm
share you
sorry.
the
I'm just
story.
so excited to
Yeah.
talk about PSS.
Thank you for
Yes,
that, Anu. Let me share that how did PSA happen to me. I mean, it's everything is something. Maybe again, when someone walks with purpose, you definitely tend to collide with destiny. So probably I was having a purpose, and I collided with the destiny of being a part of PSAI, and I'm so very happy to being here. So it all started in the month of May 2020, during the pandemic time, when I got a call from Mr. Subramaniam Narayan and Harish Mehta, and they told me that we are going to have a virtual summit in the next 30 days. Why don't you be a part of this entire virtual summit, leading the virtual summit? And I was like, wow, this seems to be a good opportunity for me to get into the space of professional speakers. And I really looked up to everyone in the Professional Speakers Association, and it's a pride for me to be a part of PACI. It makes me feel so good about being in that space of being as professional speakers who have made a mark not only in the Indian market but also in the international markets. It's like being global there, getting into the thousand, 2,000, 5,000, $10,000 mark, and really making that cut above everyone else around. So when I started with the virtual summit, I little did I know that I'm going to get hooked for my life with PSAI. So the event happened very beautifully. I enjoyed the mentorship that I got from Subramanian and Harish Mehta, and I really enjoyed the entire journey with the other team members too. What came out of that was a beautiful 1 day virtual summit, and we really felt gungo about it. And moving from there, as I joined into PSI, the next very important or the most beautiful thing that happened was getting the opportunity to lead from the front as the vice president of operations and admin. So that was again a beautiful task there, and I went ahead. We created some real good space around us. We created a good team. We brought in so many initiatives, and within that same space, PSS, the flagship event of the Professional Speakers Association of India, the PSS 2021 happened, and I was so lucky or so happy or so glad that people around us, got us into that space of being a conference co-chair. That was like a wow milestone for me. So from just handling the virtual summit to being into the leadership's position to being into the space as a conference co-chair for PSS 2021, tell me, it was really really amazing. And this has been my journey in the last 8 9 months, and I feel I've evolved, grown so much in that space. Everything about me as a person, about me as a professional, the network, the kind of people around me, the kind of opportunities that's opened up, the kind of connections that has happened, the kind of lovely people that I meet, including you, Anu. It's like amazing. It's like very gratifying. It's like soul happy. It gets you to being happy and working with a more purposeful space, getting more focused, and that's where my niche happened, and that's where my Leaders in Lipstick today happens to be a trademark registered brand. And I'm so glad that I came through all this. That's when I started deciding about how do I do my first podcast. PSI has just got me into getting there. It's gotten me to think about writing my own book and so much more. It's like if you
Oh, so
involve
there's a
yourself.
book in the coming. Wow, I am a sucker for books, and this is absolutely amazing news, Siji. So yes, for all the audience, especially the women leaders out there, watch out for Leaders in Lipstick in the coming months. I say the end of this year, Siji. Is it going to be out by the end of this year?
Now that you put the expectations on me, I better get that.
Ah, wonderful, wonderful. So, yes, you've shared with us, Saji, that how you felt about being a part of PSS 2021, how you evolved as a person. But I want to know the behind the scenes stories of how, because it was a virtual summit, we've all done physical events, but none of us was prepared for the eventuality of a virtual summit. So I want to know the behind the scenes stories. How did the entire planning phase, the execution phase coordinate? How was it made possible? Because I'll tell you, the euphoria of PSS 2021 refuses to die down even after almost 2.5 months. And
Absolutely.
I just wonder sometimes because you were the co-chair and this is my opportunity to ask you that how did you make it possible, what went on in the background at backstage?
So the first time when I joined in the month of August, and we used to have this morning meets at 6 o'clock, I kept wondering how this is happening because this is another world class event, the flagship event, and it's going to be a 3 day program and a 3 day event rather. So I kind of realized that there were so many. There's so many people in the fellow core speakers, the fellow professional speakers who all came together to just make this, just work this so beautifully as a team, right from the selection of the speakers, of how the speakers were selected, to designing how the program should work on, to the logos that should go on, to what all should get into each day event, right from book launches, to PSAI for PSAI, where you have PSAI speakers speaking, where you have international speakers speaking. The whole thing just came together so very beautifully. When we started, I never knew what is it going to look like, but at the end, it just went on. And as rightly said, that the magic and the euphoria just never seems to die off, because the kind of hard work and effort that everyone, the sleepless nights, the late nights, the early mornings that everyone's invested, it's really, really proved to be a class apart. And for a long, long time, we would say that this was one of the virtual events that really stands so beautifully, with all the international and national level speakers have made it a huge success.
And I see the pride while you talk about it, Siji. I absolutely see the pride. I am going to talk more about the Professional Speakers Summit, but before that, we have to have a look at the answers that we've been receiving to your questions, Siji. So, a couple of questions, answers are, so Kiran says it's resilience, team, and leadership. Is that right, Siji?
No,
No? Okay.
Sorry, Kiran, but
Nirja,
but you're partly
Nirja,
right.
Nirja says speaker holograms, hybrid events, remote speaking. Now, these topics look quite relevant to me in the times of the pandemic. Are these the answers, Siji?
No, not exactly.
All right, so I'm
No.
going to read out the answers from various people. Just let me know when somebody has hit the bullseye. Ainan says leadership and motivation, trends and disruption, creativity and innovation. It's actually 6 topics that Ainan has mentioned just to be on the safer side. I'm not sure whether he's one or no. ED Chronicles, Ed Chronicles. Okay, they say leadership, design thinking, diversity, equity, inclusion. Dilshad says leadership, design thinking, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay, so Ed Chronicles and Dilshad seem to be the same person. So, has any one of them hit the bullseye, Siji?
So there are some of it which is right. I love the part where Nija is talking about the hybrid version. It's so
Yes,
much
I
right,
thought that would
Nija.
be relevant.
Yeah. So it's so important to know that we are in that hybrid version where it's talking about virtual reality, it's talking about augmented reality, and it's talking about mixed reality. You know what's the secret sauce for getting it all right? To use your intelligences. Which intelligences? Your social intelligence, your emotional intelligence, your artificial intelligence, and well, your own intelligence too.
Nirja, guess that right. Seji, you're talking
No.
Sophia, the social humanoid robot. Now, that's some good humor, good interaction we are having from the audience. Thank you, Nirja. Nirja is the newly elected president. of PSAI National. And thank you, Nija, for being here with us.
Neerja really
It means a
inspires.
lot. It
And
really means a lot.
Neerja really inspires. She inspires me a lot. Okay, to tell you the right answer out
Answer.
there,
Yes.
right answer out there. The first one, the theme, the most trending ones are, first one, as most of you got it right, leadership. That's the first one. The second
I think
one is team.
leadership is going to remain the hot theme, the trending
Right.
theme for ages to come. It has been there since ages and it's going to remain there for ages. Yes, so
Absolutely.
leadership. What are the second
Leadership.
and third ones?
The second one is team spirit, team bond, or team.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
And the third one is innovation, because innovation is so very important today. And it's followed by storytelling and diversity and inclusion. So, Dilshad, you were there,
Okay.
but it was like a fourth and the fifth. So, it's like leadership, team bonding, innovation, storytelling, and diversity and inclusion. So, those are the top 5 trending themes for the coming couple of years. So that's very important for all of us to know, because that's where you start developing and wanting to establish your expertise, or in that space where you can actually operate, get more speaking gigs for you, other than making that impact, influence, and also earning the income just by having that ikigai factor everywhere. Isn't that
And
really true?
Siji, you have me all worked up. I'm going to run back to my table, get back to the drawing table and rework all my strategies. Thank you so much for this insight, Siji. I think this was quite some revelation, I would say. But then I have to come back to the Professional Speakers Summit, and I can't get enough of stories about the Professional Speakers Summit 2021, the virtual summit for professional speakers by Professional Speakers Association of India. Siji, I have to know from you that we had some truly global speakers and they were all incredible. I was a part of the summit for all 3 days, and the speakers, some of them were absolutely incredible. I would like to know what are your observations about all these global keynote speakers, how about how they function, how they perform. So I am reminded of Vikas Jain's term, the organizer's hat. Professional speakers seldom get to wear that hat, and you got that opportunity. So I want to know your perspective on that.
Three things that definitely stands out for me with every speaker that spoke that day on for the 3-day event. One was the showmanship skills that they demonstrated. Two, the technical skills each and every one of them had, because virtual space means you had to be there with your technical skills. And the third one was the production quality. Amazing, amazing, amazing. It was like everybody worked like a speaker, but they produced like a magician. So it was like a beautiful competition, a legal competition, and the
And we did
magic
have a
just
magician too, right? We
right.
did have a magician, my God. So, yes, your words are like absolutely crystal clear, true, Siji. Please carry on.
So I guess the most important thing is how they kept us captivated, because each and every content is supposed to educate, inspire, and engage. So when you are educating, when you're inspiring, and when you're engaging, it's like the next level where you're actually asking, telling the people around, the audience around, to go around and take the necessary action. And I'm amazed to see that many of the people who were a part of the audience went ahead, did what the speakers put, that kind of seed, that awareness and the call for action, and many of them changed a lot of things around them. It was like going ahead and talking about the headstand, what Dan Thurman talked about,
Oh,
and everybody wanted to know what's my headstand all
yes,
about. Yeah, the
yes,
beautiful way
yes.
of he managing everything, that showmanship that he demonstrated. Maybe he, the Win Jiang, Julian Mathur, everyone, they were so class apart. It's like work like a speaker and produce like a magician, and they just created magic, and we were spellbound with that magic, integrating and interweaving with that particular magic with all of us.
Right, Siji. And that brings me to another exciting conversation, the last section of this talk show, and that's Professional Speakers Summit 2022. That's slated to be happening in Mumbai in physical next year in January. The dates have been booked. Before we have any more conversation, I would like for our audience to watch this video on what's in store for them. So, can we have the video, please? Uh, that was something I would say. I am already so excited to be at the Professional Speakers Summit. And Siji, what's that? Looks like some celebrations,
Oh,
some surprises in the offing.
and
But I would like you to wait. I would like you to wait because I want to ask you that because you are experienced in the business of conducting PSS. I want to understand from you how are you going to you're going to be one of the key drivers of the Professional Speakers Summit 2022. What are the plans? Please spill out some secrets. Please spill out the plans.
I'm so very super excited as you are, and that too because Mumbai is going to be hosting the flagship event of PSAI, and that's the PSS 2022. We all are super excited about it, and I have some surprise coming up to you as well.
I
So
understood that with the twinkling lights behind you. I understood there was some surprise for us. Yes, please go ahead quickly.
So, as you all know, we have had such beautiful events of the flagship in the last 3 years. And keeping up with that, we are going to have some real amazing speakers from our country, India, and amazing speakers from the international space too. And now these are some of them whom we will really look up to, learn from, learn a lot for ourselves and for creating that impact and influence, and also creating that income for ourselves. And looking at what's coming up, all the excitement and the euphoria, I'm already getting into that groove and knowing that we have a lot many people joining in with us, even from the international space. I'm really looking forward to network, know, be with all of them, have that space, create that euphoria, create that learning, create that networking, create that personal branding, and all of it, all in all, right there. And I'm actually excited, and that's what my excitement shows out here.
Right. So, what's in it for our audience today, Saji? So, are you
So,
going to roll
so,
out some excitement and surprise for the audience too?
so hold your breath. Hold your breath. Let
Ah,
me tell you
I'm
what the
getting better
surprise
with
is.
my guesses.
So let me tell you what is in it for all of them who are watching today right now, and for the ones who are going to be watching the rebroadcasted version, both in the LinkedIn, the Facebook, and the YouTube, because we have gone live in all the three platforms today, and it's a
Right.
first for us doing that all three together. So here is what's special: an exclusive early bird opening for our PSS 2022 for the next 2 days. That's ending on Sunday, the 11th of April 2021. And that's the link for everyone. That's the beautiful piece out there. That's the
Wonderful. So, everybody, Make sure you get to the link psai.in early bird 2022. Fill up the registration form and ensure that whenever the early bird discounts are rolled out, you can avail them. Make yourself eligible and available for the early bird discounts by registering on the link at psai.in website, and make sure you do that by 11th April midnight. Yes, Saji, that was some feat to share with our audience. That gets me all exciting. I don't think I am ready to end this conversation, to end this flow of one liners, those profound words that you have said about relationships, about being authentic, about content, about excellence in your work. All of it reflects so clearly in your words, in your personality, in the way you deal with people. I am absolutely enthralled, Siji. I am just going to ask you to give us a closing note so that I have another one liner to carry back with me for tonight.
Thank you so very much, Anu, and thank you so very much for having me here. And thank you everyone for being with us from the last 50 minutes or so. I was a real this is a space that I take pride in, to be a part of the Professional Speakers Association of India, and I love to be from that space. And what people would say, okay, she is from PSAI and she is the quality that a speaker should really have, and that's where I would find that pride, the element of belongingness, the one of congruence with everything that's going to be in alignment with the passion and the niche that I have selected. So signing off, and I always feel that I should sign off saying, aspire to inspire before you expire. That's what I would like to sign off
Wonderful.
with, because
Wonderful,
that's
Siji. I
that's
feel
what
my
we
heart
all.
expanded. I feel my heart expanded. If we were meeting in person, I would give you a tight hug for giving me the privilege to talk to you. So, yes, thank you, Siji. And hope to see more of you and have you around because, yes, we are excited about PSS 2022. So thank you so much and good night. Again, we were really privileged to have you tonight at PSAI Talk Show.
Thank you. Thank you once again. And good night, folks. Really was a pleasure to being here today. Thank you so much. Take care and stay safe.
Bye, Siji. Good night. And now I'm going to ask my co-host Bharti Nayak to come on screen with me and tell her how did she feel about having Siji tonight at PSAI Talk Show. So yes, Bharti.
Hey Anu, how are you?
Hello, Bharti. How are you?
Oh my God. What a talk, what a talk. I mean, every moment I was only thinking about what is the next one liner that she's going to now speak.
She is, I think, the gritty woman with the heart of gold. I think that fits the best, that description fits the best for her.
Yep.
And I just couldn't have enough of her. I couldn't just have enough of listening to her. We have time foundations, so I had to say good night. But yes, she made that announcement about the PSS
Oh
2022,
yes.
and I'm so excited. I'm going to get back and tell all my friends, all my work colleagues in the industry to enroll and register for the early bird discounts. What do you say, Bharti?
Absolutely. I mean, you rightly mentioned PSS 2021. We are still in that euphoria, and now we are so excited to have this event, PSS 2022 in Mumbai. And hopefully, this would be a physical event where we meet everybody, all the speakers, global speakers, and we'll have an awesome time. And I must say that I remember what Siji mentioned, that if you are lucky, well, you need to be prepared, and the opportunity comes in, you grab it, and then you may shrug off
Absolutely.
saying that, okay, I was lucky, but that's not true. You are
Yes,
preparing yourself.
she said
So
something like, when preparedness meets opportunity, the luck shines. That's
yes,
profound. That's profound.
yes. So this is
Yes.
my one message to all of you who are watching this talk show. PSS 2022 is coming to you as an opportunity. If you are truly looking forward to become a professional speaker or aspire and also grow in that space, raise your bar, raise your game of professional speaking, prepare yourself. Be prepared
Absolutely.
and see the opportunity how it comes in with Professional Speaker Summit, our flagship event in 2022.
That also brings me to one last thing, Bharti, that last year we introduced this concept of PSAI for PSAI,
Yes,
wherein the organizing team gave opportunity to 6 PSAI members to speak on the global stage. And
yes,
now that we have just opened the memberships, I think this is the right time to come and be a part of this community that doesn't believe just in growing for itself, but pushing all its members along, pulling all its members along with them for growth. So, what are your views on that, Bharti? Just a quick one, because yes, it's
absolutely.
time to pack up.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Because membership is on the roll. It is time for you to be a part of the community, be a part of this amazing association, and you can network, you can learn, you can grow together with the professional speakers around India and also network globally as well. Because we are a part of our Global Speakers Federation. So this is an amazing opportunity. And I would like to quote Siji again here that if you walk with purpose, you collide with destiny. And if you have
Wonderful.
that purpose, if you have that purpose in your life, here's the destiny. You can collide with it, be a part of a PSAI and see how it works for you. Thank
Wonderful,
you.
wonderful. So, on that note, thank you, Bharti. And this was your host for tonight, Anupriya Chowdhary. Do keep the comments coming and tell us, how did you find our guest for tonight, Siji Varghese? What a woman of grit. And if you have any more questions about her journey, her career in the professional speaking domain, please do put in your question in the comments, and we'll make sure that we get our guest to respond to those questions. So that's all. Signing off for tonight. To meet you next Friday at the PSAI talk show that goes live now on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Good night and Shabak Khair.